Good day, my friends. We're going to talk about some questions I would love to hear people asking politicians in Ireland or anywhere really in the world. But um, yeah, it'd be very interesting to hear what they have to say. I mean, they're human beings like you and me, believe it or not. They have mothers, they may have children, and but seems like there's a bit of a information funnel where anyone who's going to ask real questions, their license is revoked or like they're kept very far away. And people know if you want to make a career in journalism, hey, don't rock the boat. And maybe they tell themselves it's about decency and being polite, but really it's a bit of kind of propaganda by omission. So here are some questions I would love to hear asked to politicians. And again, they're just normal people, but like I think there is a lot of unhealthy things going on in Ireland, and most of it stems from a lack of honesty about what's actually going on and just very honest questions. So before we get into that, just maybe 10 questions or so, I'll just say I'm Jamie McGlue. So I'm running for Dublin Bay North in the coming election as a TD. Fingers crossed. Let's go, people. Come on. And you can check out my party, GaelicAwakening.ie. We need 300 members, then we can officially register, and I'll run under that banner. Or else I'll be running as an independent. And my personal website, Jamie McGlue, like MCGLUE.ie. And anyone who think, you're splitting the vote, check out triple F, like fff.irish, www.fff.irish. It's my, and please try to get, people involved there. I'm trying to basically get us all connected. So yeah, we can have different parties, but we all know who stands for free speech, fair borders, and full sovereignty, and we're all giving preferences to each other. So anyway, let's get into the questions for our dear politician friends. So, okay, I'll have to open it directly here. So a hane, a doe, a tree. Okay. So, which do you consider more dangerous? Hate speech or the growth of government power? I consider the second one more dangerous. And, trying to police hate speech would be a very crazy example of the growth of government power. Two, isn't the inevitable result of mass immigration the loss of the uniqueness of Irish culture and society? And do we, or do you, really want Ireland to be exactly the same as the rest of the world? Why is celebrating the uniqueness of other cultures noble, but celebrating our own is racist? So I love people from all backgrounds, and like, I'm a teacher of English, so I meet people, any bias that I could have is like daily eroded away because I just come into contact with beautiful people from every country. But, like I don't want to turn Indonesia or like, Japan or whatever, or Ethiopia into like, yeah, everyone's there. It's like it would take away something, I think, from the culture, even if that was possible to just get there without any conflict. But like diversity and multiculturalism is good to some extent, but like I think there's this ideology where they're like, it almost seems like they literally want Ireland to be exactly the same as San Francisco, same as like Sydney or whatever. It's like, do we really want that? Okay, question three. Given the Irish language is endangered and the percentage of daily speakers shrank over the decades when Ireland had little to no immigration, is it fair to say mass immigration is a death sentence for our native tongue? Will millions of English learners help save Irish? So, what's more important, mass immigration when these people could go to Canada, they can go to Australia. Sorry, Australia. They can go to the USA. Um, there's many places, or we can clean up corruption in the home countries, and which is what these people want. They would prefer to stay where they are, just be able to, actually have a life. Um, so, but leaving that aside, like the benefits of mass immigration to Ireland, this little country, we can't make too much of a difference just due to the size of the country. Is it worth sacrificing our ancestral tongue, which has struggled through like 800 years of oppression? Is that really worth it? And has anyone even thought this through? Um, love to hear what the government would say about that. How does the government balance immigration intake with its stated devotion to reviving Gaeilge, the Irish language? From the inaction on expanding supply of Gael Scalana, is it fair to assume the government is only pretending to care about reviving Irish? Is there a better explanation? So it seems like they're pretending to care, like they don't really care because, yeah, bring in all these people. You know, the number of daily Irish speakers between the ages of 3 and 4, apparently it's like 500. Like there's, what is it, like 100,000 people in the Gaeltacht or something, but more and more of them aren't speaking English on a daily basis, and the children is what is the future. So, you know, okay, but you never hear this talked about immigration and Irish language together. It's like, and the Irish language is a beautiful thing. We don't want to like sully it with some lowly talk of some other thing, but it's important to politics is about trade-offs, right? Next, what do you think is behind the phenomenon of politicians not answering questions, but instead giving a politician's answer by avoiding the question but pretending to answer it? Do you consider this approach to be morally acceptable or even advisable in some cases? And are you about to do it now? So that'd be amazing. Like, yeah, try and dodge that because I just mentioned the fact that you're going to try and dodge it. Do you think the WEF, World Economic Forum, has too much influence and power over the Irish government? Even if they say no, it's like a bunch of people go, huh? Wait, what are we even talking about? Let me just look this up. Whoa, oh my God, who are these people? Penetrating cabinets worldwide? Klaus Schwab, how could you? Is preserving human liberty more important or less than preventing so-called hate speech? So, priorities. Don't you think the government already has too much power without the hate speech bill? Some of these are iterations on the same theme. Is it hate speech to label someone a conspiracy theorist or far right? Isn't it demonizing? So isn't that hate speech? Are you going to throw yourselves in jail now? Throughout history, we see the human instinct for the financial elite to abuse their power and seek to minimize the freedom of the individual. Do you think such moneyed elites still pose this threat to Ireland? And if not, then why do you think this instinct has disappeared? So, what, that just disappeared from the psychology and from political economy? Or is that behind some of what we're seeing? Next, will it be considered misinformation to say that the Irish government often disseminates misinformation and disinformation? Gulf states, such as Qatar and Bahrain, are far wealthier than Ireland or Europe in general, and yet take no refugees or immigrants, or maybe like, I think it's nothing, but maybe very, very low, from the rest of the Arab world. Is that reasonable? If so, why wouldn't it be unreasonable for Ireland to likewise set a strict immigration policy? Like, why are they all coming here instead of to these wealthy states that have the same culture or very similar culture? If someone accused the government parties and politicians of being far right, would that be defamation, given the negative associations and sense of extremism that term imparts? Is it likewise defamation for someone in government to accuse others of being far right? So, like, isn't that like, yeah, hate speech, defamation, like throwing the far right thing around? Like, come on, like you gotta be careful there. Like, talk about escalating things. I think the people who are actually the anti-establishment people in general have shown a remarkable restraint in not rising to the bait. And actually, the adults in the room seem to, in general, be the people who are anti-establishment, and yeah, who aren't like rising to this. Well, some of them, are, but I think in general, a lot of restraint being shown given all the demonization going on. Do you think it's acceptable to lie in order to guide unreasonable people to vote sensibly? Is it okay to give misinformation because some unreasonable people would, if you didn't lie to them, shortcut, try and explain the whole thing to them, take forever, they're not going to understand it anyway. Let's just give some shortcuts. Yeah, tweak this, change that for the greater good. Do you think that's okay? In my opinion, I'll tell you a straight answer. No, it's not okay. You have to just tell the truth, even if people are going to react unreasonably, because otherwise it's a slippery slope. And in any way, how do you know you're right? You have to tell the truth and engage with people. Otherwise, you'll never know. Finally, can you appreciate the irony of politicians wanting to police lying and deception? Can you appreciate that? So, okay, let me know if you have other questions you would like to hear politicians answer in the comments. And if any of you knows a politician, please ask them one of these questions. Go Mila Margweave, Gach Bannacht.